Picture this beautiful white horse with these massive wings just soaring way up high in the bright blue sky. You've probably heard the name Pegasus. He comes from those wild old stories from ancient Greece. But he's definitely not your average animal. The thing about Pegasus is he's made entirely of pure magic. And his family tree? It is pretty wild. His dad was this incredibly powerful ocean king, and his mom was Medusa. Yeah, that terrifying monster. So when Medusa was finally defeated, this insane surge of magic happened, and Pegasus just appeared. It was basically like a magician pulling off the ultimate trick, popping perfectly into existence out of nowhere. When he showed up, he wasn't some little foal either. He was already a fully grown horse. He shook out those brilliant white wings, stamped his hard hooves on the dirt, and then just shot straight up into the air. He flew past all the soft clouds, going all the way up to the home of the gods, and they were absolutely obsessed with him instantly. They just let him roam completely free. So eventually, Pegasus wanders down to this quiet, super green mountain. He lands, strikes the rock really hard with his hoof, and right where he hits it, boom, a magical spring of water bursts out. But this wasn't just your everyday drinking water. This stuff was incredibly special. Anyone who took a sip would suddenly get these massive bursts of inspiration, giving them brilliant ideas and helping them write these incredibly beautiful songs. Meanwhile, way back down on Earth, there's this young hero constantly watching the sky. His name was Bellerophon, and he wanted nothing more than to ride Pegasus. But, you can't just walk up and catch a creature of pure magic. Pegasus was insanely fast. He was totally wild and completely free up there in the clouds. So, trying to figure this out, our guy goes to sleep in a quiet temple and has the most vivid dream. While he's sleeping, a friendly goddess actually visits him, and in the dream, she hands him this incredibly shiny golden object. It was a golden horse bridle, and the craziest part, when Bellerophon woke up, it wasn't just a dream, it was entirely real. That glowing golden bridle was sitting right there, physically in his hand. He was just completely blown away by the magic of the whole thing. He goes straight out to find the winged horse and ends up spotting Pegasus drinking from that exact magic spring. Bellerophon walks up super quietly and just gently holds out that shiny golden bridle. And Pegasus didn't bolt. The magic from the bridle totally calmed him down. It was like that glowing gold had this soothing, invisible, magnetic pull over him, bringing him total peace. Pegasus just stood there and let the hero slip it right onto his head. And just like that, they were a real team. Bellerophon climbs onto his strong back, Pegasus beats those mighty wings, and they just launch straight into the bright sky. Honestly, flying on Pegasus must have felt absolutely unreal. The young hero felt totally invincible, like he could conquer the world, which is good because some serious danger was heading his way. So this really awful king ended up assigning Bellerophon the absolute worst job imaginable. He gets ordered to go fight this giant, terrifying monster called the Chimera. And this thing, absolute nightmare fuel. It had the head of a lion, the body of a goat, it breathed literal fire, and for a tail, it just had a massive snake. It was easily the scariest monster walking the earth, the kind of thing that would make any normal hero turn and run for their life. But Bellerophon had a flying magical horse, so they didn't run, they flew right at the flames. Down on the ground, the Chimera is just roaring, blowing these huge bursts of fire super high into the air, doing everything it can to roast them alive. But Pegasus was so fast and incredibly smart. Because they could fly, they had the ultimate high ground. Pegasus dodged that dangerous fire perfectly every single time. He kept his human rider totally safe, just swooping down out of the high clouds and moving way too fast. The furious monster on the ground literally couldn't touch them. Working together like the ultimate team, Bellerophon grabs a long, sharp spear to strike back. He hurls this chunk of heavy lead straight down into the monster's mouth. The Chimera's own super hot fire quickly melted the lead, and just like that, the terrifying beast was defeated for good. After that, everyone was cheering so loudly for the hero and his horse. They became wildly famous, going on all these crazy adventures together, taking down bad guys, and just winning every single time. Having Pegasus honestly made winning incredibly easy for Bellerophon. Like, maybe a little too easy. Because all that winning, it totally went to his head. Bellerophon ends up making a colossal mistake. He starts feeling way too important and foolishly convinces himself that he's basically a god now. So he decides he deserves to live up in the sky permanently. He actually commands Pegasus to fly him all the way up to Mount Olympus. Now, Mount Olympus is the god's extremely private home. Normal mortals were absolutely not allowed up there. It was strictly against the rules. Pegasus definitely knew this was a terrible idea, but because of that magic golden bridle, he had no choice but to obey. So he starts flying his rider up toward the powerful gods. While the boss of the gods, Zeus, saw them coming from miles away, and he was furious at this greedy hero's audacity. To stop them in their tracks, Zeus sends down this tiny, stinging fly, and the bug bites Pegasus right on the tail. It worked exactly like a tiny, super precise sniper, taking down a massive target with a perfectly aimed shot. That sudden bite, it really hurt. Pegasus bucked and jumped wildly in the air, just trying to shake off the pain. And Bellerophon lost his tight grip. The hero fell, all the way back down to the earth. He lost his magical best friend forever. It was a really harsh, devastating lesson to learn about the cost of arrogant pride. But the beautiful horse was completely okay. Pegasus safely kept flying upward, and Zeus actually welcomed him right into the sky. He ended up becoming a great helper for the gods, spending his days carrying those heavy lightning bolts through the dark storm clouds. Eventually, the gods transformed Pegasus into brilliant stars, placing him beautifully in the night sky forever. He's the soul of pure freedom out there in the dark, constantly reminding us that true magic, well, it just can't be owned. And hey, if you want to help keep the magic of these stories alive, do me a favor. Hit that like button, share this with a friend who loves a great myth, and subscribe so we can go on more of these amazing journeys together.